Hello, I'm Victoria from Biblio Lifestyle, and you're listening to the Reader's Couch podcast, the show that will help you bridge the gap between living a full and busy life to one where you're reading, learning new things, and having fun. In today's episode, I'll be sharing with you tips on how you can take care and prioritize self-care during the busy holiday season. Because while the holiday season is seen as a time of joy, celebration, and spending time with loved ones, it can also be hectic and stressful as well. Plus, we find ourselves juggling multiple obligations and responsibilities that are both personal and work-related. Also, it can be an incredibly lonely and isolating time as well. So in today's episode, I'll be sharing 10 essential tips for prioritizing self-care during the holiday season, and I'll share some self-care ideas with you as well. So stay tuned. Hi readers, welcome again to the Reader's Couch. I'm your host, Victoria Wood, and in today's episode, I'll be talking all about self-care during the holiday season. Because again, while I know the holiday season is thought of as a time of joy and celebration and spending time with loved ones, it can also be incredibly hectic and stressful as we juggle numerous things that we have going on in our lives. But also, it can be a very lonely, isolating, and grief-filled time as well. So in today's episode, I really want to get into some tips on how we can take care and prioritize self-care during the holiday season. So we'll discuss why self-care is important during this time. I'll share 10 tips to help you prioritize it amidst all the holiday festivities. And I'll also share some self-care ideas with you as well, because you might be wondering, okay, what kind of self-care can I do during the holiday season? So I'll have answers and ideas for all that plus more. But I really want us to start with why self-care matters, or why it should matter during the holiday season. Now, first off, what is self-care? It's anything that we do, any deliberate action that we do to nurture our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. That's how I like to think of it. You know, it's what we do to help us recharge, reduce stress, and just find some balance in our lives. Now, during the holiday season, when we're constantly pulled in different directions, I personally feel self-care is more critical than ever. So I'm going to share with you 3 reasons why I think practicing self-care is especially crucial during the holidays. Number 1, and this is something I feel, is stress levels can be higher. So with all the shopping you're doing for folks, the cooking, the entertaining, or even if you're not doing any of that, but just having to show up and gather, right? That can be stressful within itself. And I don't just mean personal gatherings. There are also workplace gatherings as well, and just, other activities that you're a part of. Like in my case, I volunteer in my local community, and those organizations have gathering as well. So it's like you have work, you have family, you have personal, but you also have everything else going on with the little groups and things that you participate in. So there's really a lot going on. So even if you have nothing to do with the planning and the organizing, just showing up can be stressful. And also, let's say if you don't have anything to attend, you're not invited anywhere, that too can be stressful. I know it kind of leans more on maybe possibly depressing, but it can also be stressful as well. It's just there are lots of negative emotions that can arise from the holidays, both when you have lots to do and you have none to do. So that's why I think it's really important to prioritize self-care during the holiday seasons, because stress levels can be higher, but also you can be depressed, and that can be higher too. Another reason why it's important to take care during the holiday season is because during this time we might overindulge. Because let's face it, during the holidays we tend to indulge in a bit more food and drink than usual. Just like I was talking about, like having events to do, we might overdo it, saying yes to everything and trying to attend everything and be everywhere and be everything for everyone. But we tend to overindulge during the holiday season. Also, if we're not careful, we can overindulge in our spending, and that's not positive either. So look, I'm team treat yourself, especially treat your shelf. But, there's nothing wrong with that. But excessive indulgence can leave us feeling very sluggish, unwell, or just really upset with ourselves, especially if we do something that we later regret or we're not happy with. So the odds of overindulging is very high during the holiday season. So if we practice self-care, we can help ourselves maintain a healthy balance and just prevent any post-holiday guilt or stress or regrets or anything like that. So that's another thing why it's important, because odds are we probably overindulge during the holidays. And the other reason why I think it's incredibly important, and this affects someone like me, someone who likes structure quite a bit, is that during the holidays, our routines may be disrupted. And like I said, I'm a lover of structure. I like knowing what I'm doing when and where and so on. However, the holidays tend to bring lots of disruptions to our daily routines. So from us traveling to places, to us staying up late for, again, holiday parties or gatherings, or even watching stuff on television, or reading late at night or whatever. It's just, things change lots during the holidays. So for me, I've been going to this exercise class just to move my body. That's the whole intention. It's 45 minutes for just me and me alone and doing something for myself. And they have holiday hours that they've enacted. So that has kind of upset my routine, because I like going earlier, but now it's forcing me to go later because, again, change in holiday hours. So just little things like that can affect our routines, and that can throw off our sleep schedules. It makes us harder to stick to what we have as regular self-care habits. So again, we need to be intentional about prioritizing our self-care so that we can ensure that these disruptions don't take a toll on our well-being. So see, those are 3 things, and I'm sure there's so many others. Stress levels can be higher, depression levels can be higher. We may overindulge in things, and our routines may be disrupted. So I hope by me sharing these 3 points that you're realizing that, hey, self-care is crucial, especially during the holiday season. So next, I'd love to chat about some practical tips, share some ways in how we can prioritize it amidst all the festivities and the sometimes chaos. Okay, so I have 10 tips to help you prioritize self-care during the holiday season. Now, number 1, and I think this is incredibly important, and I know sometimes it's easier said than done, is set boundaries. I know firsthand how easy it is to get caught up in the holiday spirit and just say yes to every invitation, every request, everything. And you're trying to be everything for everyone. However, I think it's important to set boundaries and learn to say no when we're feeling overwhelmed or exhausted, because this will help us to conserve our energy for more meaningful activities, things that we really want to do, but also avoid burnout. So tip 1, learn to set boundaries. Number 2, also important, is making self-care a non-negotiable, right? So I want you to treat your self-care practices like any other important commitment, right? I know odds are you prioritize maybe your doctor's appointment, your dentist appointment, work meetings, things like that. And we tend to push our personal things off to the side and I'll do my self-care ritual later. And you keep pushing it, but you never really get round to it. So I highly recommend making it a non-negotiable. Block off time on your calendar if necessary for those activities that rejuvenate you and just actually stick to it. So it could be anything from taking a bath, going for a walk, reading a book, listening to music, dancing around in your living room, whatever. Do whatever makes you feel relaxed and recharged. So make that activity a non-negotiable. Okay. Number 3, get creative with your self-care routine. So if your regular self-care activities are not feasible during the holiday season, get creative and find alternatives. So, for example, instead of, going to exercise class, kind of like I was saying, maybe try yoga or dance class, or again, dancing in your living room, or moving your own body in your space, in your bedroom, in your living room, wherever, because you can't go to the gym or whatever exercise class you are going to. So make adjustments there. Instead of meditating alone, invite your loved ones to join. Practice it with your children or the little ones in your family. I'm telling you, I know it might be hard for them, but it's good that they're learning this method really early. So, maybe involve someone else. If you're painting or puzzling, instead of doing it on your own, invite someone in. So get creative with your routines. If you're not able to do it on your own, it's fine. Modify it, but just make sure you have that downtime. Okay, tip 4, and this is incredibly important because I'm telling you, this changed my life when I started prioritizing it, and that is sleep. So with all the hustle and bustle of the holidays, I know it's easy to skimp on sleep. It's like you're going to bed late because you're up prepping pressies, or you're prepping meals, or you're cleaning house and all that things. Then you're waking up early to do even more stuff. But I'm telling you, getting enough rest is crucial for our overall well-being. So try as best as possible, because again, I know things are different during the holiday season, but try to keep a consistent sleep schedule, even if it means saying no to certain gatherings or doing certain activities. So set time for you to wind down and disconnect from technology. Okay, number 5. To help you prioritize self-care during the holiday season. This is something I love to do. I need to do more of it this holiday season, and that's practice gratitude. Now, I know the holiday season is often thought of as a time when we give thanks. But it really is essential to practice gratitude beyond the one day we're commemorating, So make it a habit to reflect on the things you're grateful for each day, whether it's big or small. I truly feel this will help to shift your perspective to a more positive and appreciative mindset. So I know one thing I often say every morning is, I'm Christian, I believe in Jesus. So I'll be like, thank you, Jesus, for waking me up this morning. At the end of a walk, I'm often saying, I'm thanking my legs for carrying me, for being outside and being able to breathe in fresh air. Sometimes when I'm having meals by myself, I often say the little children's prayer that I learned in school or probably at home or whatever, God is good, God is great. Let us thank him for our food. Amen. I never take for granted having these little things. I think it's also because I grew up with a mum and my nan as well, but my nan was older, so it was mostly my mum. She was in charge of our soup kitchen. I grew up in the church, so my mum was in charge of it at our church. And she'd bring my sister and I along, and we'd often hand out food. So some of the people, they come for, soup, and it's often accompanied with another meal, but they call it the soup kitchen, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, and there's some folk that you have to go out there and bring it to them because some aren't able to come, some don't want to come, but they want the food. Anyway, we would go and bring it to them. And I've learned from a really young age that food insecurity is a very real thing. And I do it once a week in my local Mana kitchen. So it's just one of those things that, I know it's little and simple, and sometimes we feel like we have other weights on our shoulders, but I'm telling you, just having a roof over your head, having food, and other great things, should be celebrated. So yeah, I think giving gratitude is a really big thing. And look, I know people believe in different things. I'm just speaking from my experience. I believe in Jesus. I'm Christian. But I'm just saying, whatever your religion or no religion, you can even thank the universe, thank the universe for life and you waking up and, your legs carrying you, your body carrying you, your ability to pay for food and have food and share. So it doesn't matter if you believe or, you believe in something different or you don't believe in something at all. I still think you can practice gratitude. So that's another way you can prioritize self-care during the holiday season. Okay, tip number 6 for prioritizing self-care during the holiday season is to try and find moments of solitude. So with all the social gatherings and family time going on, see if you can find some time for yourself, some alone time, where you can use this time to recharge and do something that brings you joy. So it could be a quiet walk. It could be like me, go hide out in the closet a bit and just, breathe, meditate, read something, whatever works for you. See if you can find some of that alone time so you can recharge and do something that brings you joy. Another thing you can do, number 7, is try not to neglect your physical health. Again, the holiday season is a time when we tend to indulge quite a bit, but see if you can take advantage of good weather, if there's good weather, and if you live somewhere warm, maybe to go for a walk or do something fun outdoors, or even if you're in a chilly weather, maybe ice skating or sledding or something like that. But see if you can just go outside and do something physical. It doesn't have to be very organized like going to a class or anything. So just once you're moving, that's all that matters. Number 8, try and set realistic expectations during the holidays. Now, that is something I've had to learn. Again, just, with time and years of experience, is that there can be lots of pressure during the holiday season to have everything perfect, right? So from decorating your entire house, to being on top of meals and making sure everything is clean and having gifts for everyone, and being prepared for family and friends and going to all these gatherings. And like I said, there's work gatherings, personal gatherings, all the things. But I think it's important to set realistic expectations for ourselves. Really, don't strive for perfection. That can sometimes lead to burnout as well. I think the most important thing is spending quality time with loved ones or taking much needed solo time to yourself. So if that means I'm not decorating the entire house, because then, you also have to take it down and you might be stretched for time, just have a tree if you do Christmas, have a wreath at your door if you do that. Maybe just do lights outside and, ditch the inflatables and all the other additional things. So really think about it and just do what gives you joy and focus on what is realistic for you. If you have that extra time and you can go all out, by all means, go for it. But I really think it's important to set realistic expectations. In my case, it's a wreath outside. The front door is really well decorated. That's it. The front porch, there'll be poinsettias, that kind of thing. There's a tree inside. There's, a garland going upstairs. And yeah, that's it. There's always stuff on the table. So, table setting, centerpieces. But that's it, because I just don't have the bandwidth, I'm being honest. I really don't. So I've set realistic expectations for myself. I know what I can and can't do. And thankfully, my family and friends are at peace with it. So yeah. Alrighty, number 9, practice self-compassion. Now, if things don't go as planned, so we were just talking about, setting realistic expectations, but let's just say things don't go as planned, you might feel overwhelmed. Be kind to yourself and practice some self-compassion. So instead of being hard on yourself, give yourself permission to take a break, maybe delegate, or just ask for help when needed. So practice some self-compassion, be kind to yourself. And number 10, the last one, I want you to be present and enjoy the present moment. So whether you're with friends and family or you're going at it solo, try to not get caught up with all the stress and distractions that are there during the holiday season. Instead, just be present with yourself, be present with your loved ones if you're gathering with folks, and just enjoy your downtime or your time with friends and family. Consider putting your phone away. You can take a couple pictures, sure, but, spend time engaging with folks, looking someone in the eye, having a really engaging and present conversation. Also, don't forget to take deep breaths and just enjoy every moment. I have to say, I enjoy my quiet moments so much. I'll just make myself a warm beverage. I'll just sit. I'll get cozy. I'll sip, and I spend lots of time reflecting. I don't know if this is what happens when you get an older age kind of thing. Getting older, not necessarily old. But I've been doing a lot of reflecting. I've been doing a lot of self-reflection. I've been reflecting on my loved ones that are no longer with me. Again, like I said, the holiday isn't always warm and fuzzy for folks. It's sometimes very grief-filled as well. And even during that time, and it really doesn't matter how long that person is no longer with you, you just learn how to deal with it better, I think, as time goes on. But the memories are still there. So I try to focus on the positive and just be present and think of the good times when those people who are no longer with you were with you, and just smile that it happened. So try and be present, whether you're with friends and loved ones, but also if you're going at it solo. Okay, so I know I tend to be a bit long-winded. Apologies for that. I really don't want this episode to go on too long, but I really want to share with you some self-care ideas that you can do, some specific ideas that you can do during the holidays. So these are just some simple activities that you can incorporate in your routine, or maybe it's something that you can try that is new. So really quick, you could treat yourself to a spa day, or you can do a DIY spa night at home. So consider giving that a go. Write in your gratitude journal every day. I mean, that could just be a challenge for December. Just write something that you're grateful for every day in your journal for the month of December. You can also go for a walk in nature and just appreciate the beauty around you, whether you're in a tropical climate or whether it's cooler where you are. I think there's beauty in all the seasons, so consider going out for a walk in nature. Another thing you could do is try out a new holiday recipe, or you can bake your favorite treats. Now, don't bake for an event because that can be stressful, but do this for yourself, you know. You can also have a movie night with your loved ones, make some popcorn, get cozy, or you can have a solo movie night because if I'm being honest, I like watching sometimes my shows on my own because no one else in my household likes what I like. So yeah. Another thing you can do is spend some quality time with a furry friend. You know, you can play with them, cuddle, or take them for a walk, or you can do what my sister does. So my sister's building does not allow pets. She also does not have a pet currently, but she goes to the shelter and she volunteers her time there so she can play with, you know, some furry friends, and she feels so much better for it and she loves getting out there. And I think, you know, sometimes you need to hug a puppy or engage with a cat, even though we know they can be a bit aloof at times. But yeah, spend some quality time with furry friends. You could also do a social media detox for a day or a week. Highly recommend, trust and believe. I enjoy a good detox every now and then. Another thing you can do is donate to a charity, or you can volunteer at a local organisation. I have to tell you, it really fills your cup up, I feel, when you volunteer and donate somewhere. Like I said earlier, I'm a regular at my local Mana kitchen. And in those moments when I'm there, it allows me to connect with people in my community in a way that I wouldn't have before. It also reminds me rather just how fortunate I am, you know, so it really will give you that dose of gratitude. But also just even with the other volunteers, I'm telling you, it's a great way to connect all around, both with the people who are beneficiaries of the kitchen, but also people you're working alongside. This is a great way for you to get involved in your community. And for you, it doesn't have to be a Mana kitchen. You know, you could go to a women's shelter, children's shelter, you know, places where folks are dealing with addiction as well. That is something I used to do, but I have to say it hits really close to home because that's, you know, something we deal with in our family. But you know, there are just so many different ways you can show up in your community, but more than ever, I think it's important for us to see each other's humanity, just people in our local community, because I think we spend a lot of time online. So I think it's really important if you have that time and the means to just go out and volunteer in your local community, volunteer at a charity or just a local group that's doing good things that you believe in. I also want to share some situational specific activities you can do during the holidays. So if you are looking for mental health activities specifically, highly recommend gratitude journaling. So take a few minutes each day. Again, write down the things you're grateful for. You can do this throughout the holiday season. I hope you'll continue well beyond it as well, but it's a great time to start. Also, consider some mindful breathing. I have a timer where every hour, sometimes every 2 hours, depending on the kind of day I have, where I just stop and practice some mindful breathing. I'll just sit in silence. I'll focus on my breath. I'll do it for 5 minutes sometimes. And I'm telling you, it's a great reset and it's a good way to calm your mind, reduce stress, and reduce your anxiety. Another thing you can try doing is meditating. Again, focus on your breath. Just meditate for 5 minutes. I'm telling you, it can do a world of difference. And another thing you can do is try some creative activities. So drawing, painting, writing to get your thoughts and feelings out. Because I'm telling you, there are lots of emotions that build during the holiday season. So I think it's really important to prioritize your mental health. And hopefully these activities can help. Family-friendly self-care ideas where you can incorporate other folks. I think I said this earlier, have a family movie night with some feel-good movies that celebrate the holidays, if that's up your alley. Cook and bake together. I love doing cookies. I also love doing gingerbread houses. So we did that with one of our littlest family members that were visiting. So I love, just doing those hands-on activities and also decorating cookies. For older children, you can maybe teach them traditional family recipes and cultural recipes. I always think that's just incredibly important, passing on those traditions, even if they have nothing to do with the holidays, but just something culturally related. An activity I tried, and I don't think I'll share this one on social media, but it's something that we love doing, is creating a gratitude tree where each family member writes something down that they're grateful for and we hang it on the tree. So around Christmas time, because like I said, I celebrate Christmas, we hang it on the Christmas tree. So just things we're grateful for, just, little tidbits. So after the tree's decorated and done, and I've taken my photos that I share on social, we add these little elements as well. Or you could just have like a tree, just something with branches even, and just have it like on your kitchen table or somewhere central. And folks can hang up things that they're thankful for and grateful for. Another thing is game night. I love a good game night. I love when family members can come together and play a game. I think that's just a great way we can all slow down and take care and again be present with each other. So self-care can be done as a family activity because it promotes bonding and just that quality time together. And last one is, how can you give back and show gratitude during the holidays? Like I said, volunteer at a local charity or a food bank, donate to organizations that support causes you care about. You can send handwritten thank you notes to friends and family and co-workers. And in my case, I'm doing it for friends and family, but I'm also doing it for members of my online community, and I'm doing it for people that I volunteer alongside. I think you can do this for your co-workers as well, just anyone who's impacted your life in a positive way. I also think a good way for you to give back during holidays is to support small businesses by shopping locally if they're in your community, but also supporting them online. That's just a great way you can show gratitude to the companies and organizations that really matter to you. And if you're looking for ways you can take care of yourself during the holiday season, like, just solo things that you can do, I highly recommend setting boundaries. Again, it's okay to say no to certain things. If you're feeling overwhelmed, prioritize your mental and physical well-being. I think it's incredibly important. Also, practice mindfulness. Again, take breaks throughout the day, check in with yourself, see how you're feeling, ground your thoughts and feelings, because this can really help reduce stress and increase your self-awareness. Make time for things you enjoy, really, whether it's reading a book, baking, going for a walk, whatever gives you joy, whatever helps you relax, prioritize them. Try and stay active during the holiday. Make some time for movement, whether it's walking or doing a full-on workout, yoga practice, whatever you're doing, do that. And stay hydrated and stay nourished. So take care of your body, nourish your body, feed it healthy foods, balance out those treats with some nutritious meals, and of course, drink lots and lots of water. Self-care isn't selfish, you guys. It's really important for us to take care of ourselves because it will allow us to stay present and just show up as our best versions of ourselves. Readers, the holiday season can be busy, overwhelming, and just packed with obligations, which I know makes it easy for us to neglect our self-care routines. However, I truly believe prioritizing self-care during this time is really important because it's the only way we will be able to maintain balance and prevent burnout. So, by setting boundaries, being creative, practicing gratitude and self-compassion, we can stay grounded and enjoy the holiday season to the fullest. Again, remember, please be kind to yourself and find moments of solitude for you to recharge. Readers, I hope you found this episode useful. I hope it was insightful. It maybe inspired you to slow down and take care this holiday season. If you haven't already, the biggest holiday gift you can give me this season is to leave the podcast a 5-star rating and write me a review if you love the show. Also, don't forget to share this episode or your favorite episodes with your bookish friends. It really helps the show and it keeps me going. And like I said, it's the biggest gift you could give me this holiday season. Alrighty, readers, that's it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. And I'm looking forward to chatting with you again soon. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to the Reader's Couch podcast. Please subscribe to the show, share it with a friend, and take a few seconds to leave a rating and review. Until next time, stay lounging, stay reading, and whenever you're in doubt, go straight to your local bookstore or library. Thanks again for listening, and happy reading.